Cool.
My name is Christian Chismar, and today I'm going to talk to y'all about stopping racism in America. How many of you have ever been in a situation where race is a factor? This can be a difficult and highly sensitive subject that you will deal with one day or the next. Imagine being passed over for a job promotion or not being allowed in a place of business or someone's home because of the color of your skin. How would that affect you? Would it make you feel stupid? Would it make you feel small? Would it make you feel like you're not as good as another race? The reason why I'm speaking about this is because I have a nephew who is interracial, and I'm qualified to give this speech because this affects my family. Some can accept it and some cannot. The purpose of my speech is to let everybody know the importance on discrimination and how we can stop as individuals racism. I believe that racism should cease to exist because it can cause a serious communication gap between races. It can cause violence among Americans, and because it's a serious issue. Examples of how this can affect your race. It can affect you by, like I said earlier, going into someone's home. You may not be allowed there because of the color of your skin. It can affect you by getting an education. Some people may discriminate around because of the color of your skin. They may not take the time to teach you as much as they would someone of another race. Say, for example, you're Asian American and your colleagues believe that all Asians are good at science and math. You could have a hard time moving into a client-facing position because your boss thinks you'd be better suited crunching numbers in a back office. This quote was from raceintheworkplace.com. I believe that racism is a serious issue because it's really hurtful to other people. It's hurtful whenever you look at someone and you immediately you get a vibe off of them because they're a different race. You don't think that they're good enough. Practices of people and institutions hinder the learning of students of color and students from low socioeconomic classes. Race and class biases in particular are major causes of differential success. This quote is from edweek.org. My second main point is the communication gap between Americans. An example is you have a friend that's of a different race and they come to you with a problem about their family and they ask you about it, and because you were raised on certain morals, you may end up having a disagreement on how you can resolve the issue. This can cause conflict between friends. A bigger issue is politics. A lot of races tend to lean toward what other people in their race lean to, rather than the importance that the politician, for example, can bring to the table. An example from swamppolitics.com. Senator Barack Obama pretty much has upwards of 90% of the African American vote sewn up, if only because, one, he's the all but official Democratic nominee, and African Americans are overwhelmingly Democrats. Two, he's African American, and three, millions of black Americans never thought they'd live to see this historical moment. This is a good example because instead of everybody listening to his speeches and really understanding what he's saying, they want to vote for him because he's African American, particularly other African Americans. They're not exactly understanding what he's speaking on and what his promises are going to, how they're going to affect that race or all races. My next point comes from usatoday.com. A Justice Department study of violent crime among different races shows an alarmingly high rate of violence against American Indians. Indians were twice as likely to be victims of violent crimes than African Americans, whites, or Asians. studies also show that violent crimes against whites and blacks were committed primarily by members of the victim's own race. While the rate of violent crimes against blacks and whites have narrowed, blacks were murdered at far higher rates than other people. Blacks and Asians were more likely to face an offender with a firearm than whites and American Indians. In conclusion, the purpose of my speech again was to let everybody know and try to get everyone to understand the importance of racism and discrimination against people of another color. We can stop this as individuals. Racism is an epidemic that is huge. It's something that is probably going to be there forever.